Here's a little orientation video on many of the Bugeyes. This will be applicable, but today I'm in a Bugeye called Cloud, and this is just kind of an introduction to these slightly less than conventional controls. So this will help anybody new to Bugeyes, but in particular, this is for the owner of Cloud from Bugeye Guys. So this car has the conventional key turn on setup here. You hear the electric fuel pump working, and you also will see the fuel gauge. That was a little bit of a spark, so we'll put it in the brake on. We'll put the key on and you see the fuel gauge come to life, and you'll also see the ignition light on, just a little bit faint on this car because there's a lens there, a little orange lens. But the ignition light, the fuel pump, all that confirms that the key's on. You don't want to turn this too much or you'll break it. It's just off or on, and that's that simple. To turn the lights on, you have side lights and headlights, and then you have a dip switch here, and there's the high beam indicator off and on as the high beams go up and down. So that's all with the left foot pedal here for high beams. So that's your headlight control. Now, this is normally the heater control, and what this is doing is it's opening and closing a damper. So when this is pulled, no fresh air comes in to the cockpit through these vents right here. That little black hose feeds the defroster, and so when you pull that, you're closing off that airflow. On most of these cars, you would twist this for the blower, but in the case of this particular car, we have a blower there. I feel it blowing on my legs. If you pull this out, you're closing off the airflow, and that's not good for the blower. So if you turn this on, you'll want to make sure, obviously you can't see the air blowing, but I can feel it now. And you want to make sure that this is in when you turn the blower on. So it's that simple. And then over here we have the choke control. This is a locking choke, which is a nice upgrade because you can pull it out, and I'll turn the key off. You pull it out, and this first little bit is high idle. So you can actually, when it's cold, I'll show you when it's running. So once it's running, you can pull this out or push it in. So if you're just getting started in the morning and it's a little bit of a low idle, you can pull it out just a bit and lock it, and that gives you like a hand throttle. So it's too high, I can go in half that distance. It's nice and sensitive. So that's a nice aid if the idle's too low and you want to boost it a little as the car warms up. Then the second portion is richness. You hear how it's stalled. Well, I killed it because I flooded it. But so basically high idle to here and enrichen to there. So you can feel there's more resistance the more you pull it out. And this little bit has little resistance, that's idle, and this bit has more resistance, that's richness. And so you want to use the choke as little as you need and try to get it in as quickly as possible so you don't foul the spark plugs or waste gas. This is the washer pump. They almost never work very well, so we don't even really bother with them. They're more about the look of the dashboard. And then the starter here, and with the key off, of course, it won't start, but that's how you crank the engine. Okay, and then as far as shifting, they're all sprites, unless they're 5 speeds, have a basic H pattern. There's 2, 3, 4, and reverse is over and back. And to get reverse, there's actually a detent. So you have to kind of hit it over, slap it over, and then it will engage reverse. So 3rd, 4th, reverse. Now for first gear, this one won't go into first gear because the gears are bumping one another. And what I will do, now let's just say, oh, there it goes. Sometimes you have to move the car just an inch, so you would ease out the clutch the slightest bit, and then it'll go right into first gear. They're old gearboxes, so you want to take good care of them. And the most important thing is just to be gentle. So from first gear to second gear, not 1, 2 like that, because that will grind. But just 1, boop, 2. Just a little bit of a pause is all it takes between 1 and 2. And to go up to third, this is critical because if you go too far forward here, it will grind. So keep a little pressure to the right. You get up to neutral and it automatically jumps. This is the 3-4 gate. This is the 1-2 gate. And you really want to make sure you don't hit this zone here while you're rolling. It will grind. So you keep a little pressure to the right, get over into the 3/4 gate, and then you can hit 3rd gear and 4th gear. Downshifting from 4th, again, nice and gentle. 3rd, coming back over to 2nd, and you don't downshift into 1st while you're rolling. Come to a full stop, engage 2nd, and then go into 1st. Or if you're going at walking speed or greater, just start in 2nd gear. So the most important thing is do not go from 2nd and catch 1st, because you will destroy 1st gear. And that's probably the most critical part of operating the transmission. The handbrake is here, very straightforward. The horn is here, and the fuel gauge is here. One more thing, we have on some of these cars a dash light switch that will turn off the somewhat minimalist cage lights that are in here, but this car doesn't have one. But we've had clients bump these with their legs and turn them off and wonder why the lights don't work in the dash, and it's that switch that's often the culprit. So very basic controls. One more thing that is at your disposal, and that's this flap right here, and right now it's open. That closes the flap and sends the air up through the defroster. If you want more air on a cold day, more heat, you open that, or fresh air. But just make sure that the heater valve under the hood is on or off. That's right about under my finger. You have to open the hood and open the spigot to let the hot water in, which makes heat, or in the summertime, we close that. That is a quick tour of the cockpit here on Cloud from Bugeye, guys.